It is one thing to know that God exists, and it is another thing to choose to worship Him. Many of the people that are rebelling against God and living their lives anyhow, they have chosen to not worship God, not because He's not there, not because the proofs are not there, not because they are not undeniable proofs that God exists, but they choose to not worship Him because they want to be God, they want to be Lord over themselves. King Nebuchadnezzar's son was having a feast, and he took the golden cups that were used in the temple of the Lord. He was using them to flex. And then suddenly, at the place where the light was shining more brightly, a hand appeared and he wrote, Mene Mene Teke Upharsin. When the thing wrote on the wall, King Nebuchadnezzar's son was afraid. When he was afraid, he was not looking for who interpreted it for him. Daniel came in. Once Daniel came in, Daniel told him that this is the interpretation of the vision of what God wrote on the wall. This is the interpretation. God made your father King Nebuchadnezzar the greatest king in the world. If he wanted to kill somebody, he killed him. If he wanted to keep somebody alive, he kept somebody alive. He was the richest of all. But yet pride entered his heart and he thought that he was God. So God made him mad. God kept him mad for 7 years and he was running around like a beast in the field. And then after 7 years and he acknowledged that God is God, God gave him back his throne. God humbled him and he gave him back his power. And you knew this, and you chose to not humble yourself before God, knowing that God is king and knowing what God did to your father. And because of that, God punished King Nebuchadnezzar's son, and he was assassinated that night. There are people that are aware of the proofs that God exists. Many of you listening to me know that God exists. You know that you're going to pay for your actions. You know that sin is wrong, but you just don't want to accept it. And because you don't want to accept it, you keep on looking for proofs on the internet to support your opinions. You don't want God to exist, not that He doesn't exist. You don't want Him to exist because you want an excuse to continue doing what you are doing. That is why you go on the internet and you begin to search for what are the proofs that God does not exist, what are the proofs of this and that, and then you now carry those proofs and think you have found something. You have found nothing, because in this life there is something called confirmation bias. If I should tell you to stand in your room and to look around for all the red clothes and you have all the things that are red, and you look around and you close your eyes and I tell you to mention them, you will mention them. But if I tell you to mention the things that are blue, you will not be able to mention it because you were not looking for the things that were blue. The same way, when you go around looking for only fact, you're just trying to look for something that will convince you that God does not exist, you will find, even if the thing is a lie, even if the thing is bull crap, even if it was made up, even if it is fictional, you will accept it. That alone should tell you that your mind is dangerous. We don't see reality. We see our reality. How you are interacting with reality is how you perceive reality. But it doesn't mean that's what reality is. Everything you see is a perspective and not a fact. Everything you hear is an opinion and not the truth. But it doesn't mean there is no truth. There is truth. But you see, your perception of truth is very important. Because no matter how much you argue with me that gravity does not exist, you say gravity does not exist, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. When you jump down from Burj Khalifa, my brother, you will know, well, you will be too dead to know that gravity is real. When you're dead, you don't know you're dead because you're dead. And the same thing with stupid. When you're stupid, you don't know you're stupid because you're stupid. That's just the thing you must understand. Your mind is very powerful. Be careful who you allow speaking to your mind. You must question your motives. Question your actions and desires. When you see yourself arguing about something, when you see yourself researching something, ask yourself why. Why is it that I want God to, why is it that I just want so badly for God not to exist? Why do I crave being free? Question your motives. Ask yourself, why is it that you want so much for God to not exist?